lovely viewer. Welcome to day 11 of 25 Wild Christmas Review Days, the cartoon specials. Today we're talking about Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. This is a series, along with Ed, Edd n Eddy, that I would watch on Cartoon Network. One of the very few when I started watching Cartoon Network as a young boy. I liked the show. I thought it was fun. It was very imaginative. No pun intended. I didn't plan on saying that. And the holiday special is one of my favorites. If you were to line up the Cartoon Network Christmas specials, it may not be one of the top, but it is one of them, and that's enough for me. This is A Lost Claus. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was a cartoon that aired on Cartoon Network from 2004 till 2009. The show sees an 8-year-old kid named Mac bringing his imaginary friend Blue to a foster home, as his mom feels he is too old for an imaginary friend. Learning that Blue will be available to be adopted by someone else once he steps foot in the foster home, Mac makes an agreement that as long as he continues to visit, Blue will be saved from being adopted. As Mac visits the foster home daily, he gets involved in wacky antics that go on within the foster home itself and with the other imaginary friends. In 2005, A Lost Claus premiered and saw Mac slowly losing his faith in Santa Claus after coming across multiple Santas in the foster home. Mac tries to get the friends involved and help him prove that the legend of Santa exists, but when one bad thing happens after another, Mac starts to question his faith in Christmas altogether. Meanwhile, Blue attempts to change Mr. Harriman's mind after learning each imaginary friend gets one gift each. As I stated, I watched Foster's Home Imaginary Friends. One of the biggest memories I have of this show is the character Cheese. He sticks in my mind a lot. Obviously, I was also alive when Foster's did their Rick-rolling prank at the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade that one year. I also really like Destination Imagination. I love the concept of that film. That's the show's TV film. I guess, in a way, it is their official movie, but it was a TV movie, and it could be cut up into 3 different parts. I think it is an episode of the show, but it's one of those, it's an episode of the show, but it's also a movie. Kind of like the iCarly Japan movie. It's both a movie and part of the show as episodes. I like Destination Imagination, that's what I'm trying to get at. But I also specifically remember the end of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I was there watching the episodes. I saw the episodes live as they happened. I also remember the promos and trailers that they had for the final episodes. It showed sadness that the show was ending. But hey, good news! There's still more episodes, but it's the final batch of episodes. But it's still new episodes. I remember that trailer. It was a good show. It was really fun. It was very entertaining. And the Christmas special ain't half bad either. I like the concept that you're dealing with imaginary friends and there's a slight chance that Santa may actually fall into that category. This concept of the main character questioning whether Santa Claus exists or not, that is obviously something that has been done a number of times. It's one of the tropes in Christmas stories. And always at the end, it is proven that Santa is real in some way. Maybe we don't physically see him, but it's hinted that he is real towards the end. And I think in a show like Foster's Home, I think it was really clever to do that sort of story, especially since you're dealing with imaginary friends. I mean, just the second that you see that second Santa in the episode, you kind of have an idea what's going on. I thought it was very clever the first time I saw this episode. As I got older, I got to appreciate it a little more just because of how clever it was, and it could really do something to a kid's head. I mean, that's a lot to process, that something that you believed was real for so long, what if it is all just imaginary? And when you're in a setting where imaginary friends do exist, well, now that starts a crisis going on. Like, did I just make all that up? Like, it starts to mess with you. And for a child, specifically Mac, at the age of 8 years old, that could be an end-of-the-world scenario. There was one bit that I really liked. There was one bit that I found funny. One bit that I found extremely funny during the attempts of trying to see if Santa Claus is real by testing things out, like sending Wilt on a journey flying in the sky with flying animals, and then after they put Eduardo in the chimney, since he's very big, let's put this big person in a small chimney. They go to the mall, and that's where they find Coco working as Santa, and I find it really funny that Mac accidentally rips Coco's beard off, along with all the kids being really upset. You have Coco's boss really upset and crying because he also believed that Coco was the real Santa. The guy who hired Coco is a bigger child than the actual children. I don't know what it is about writers and TV shows nowadays, but I feel like if that sort of concept was done nowadays, it would have came off as extremely stupid. Why is it that something that came out in 2005 can do something like that and make a 25-year-old laugh hysterically? That was funny. Maybe it has something to do with that we don't spend so much time with that character and he doesn't come off as a dimwit. Because, that's not always funny, guys. As for the side plot of this episode, we have Blue trying to get more gifts out of Mr. Herringman, and that was pretty cute also. We get a little adaptation of A Christmas Carol, like a very quick version of it. I find it really funny how for Christmas present, Blue actually dresses up as a present. That's also very clever. Probably not the first time something like that has been done, but I just thought it was pretty interesting. But I love how the result... It was just a huge misunderstanding, and you can easily tell that a misunderstanding's coming as you're watching it, because he's like, I should no gifts, not one single gift. It's like you didn't specify there should be more than one gift. Or what he also mentions two, more than two gifts. You need to specify you want more. So obviously that was a big laugh when the whole thing was just a misunderstanding. It's like, oh, I screwed up. Now we're not getting a Christmas. I just think with this episode, everything falls into place really well. It has a perfect beginning, it has a great middle, and it has a very satisfying conclusion. Everything works out in the end. And it's not because of any bullcrap. It's not because of, oh, well, Christmas magic. No, it works out the way it does because of essentially the main focus of the episode. Is Santa Claus real or not? And that answer essentially resolves all the problems in this episode, and that's very good. I know ever since it aired I've seen this episode so many times, but it still surprises me that there is a Charlie Brown reference towards the end of this episode. I won't spoil where it is, but honestly, watching it again this time around, I got the sense that this feels very Charlie Brown-like. Maybe that was a small little influence to tell me that we are getting a little reference towards the end of the episode, but I don't know. Maybe it was the music. The music was really good in this episode. I said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it. I love hearing a traditional TV show's music score get a little altered by Christmas festive music. There's just something about it I really like. And that makes for all a good episode. And with that, I'd have nothing else to say about this episode. I like A Lost Clause. It is a very good Christmas special. If you haven't seen this episode for whatever reason, even if you haven't seen Foster's Home, definitely check it out. You really don't need to know much about the show other than maybe just what it's about. You don't need to see any past episodes. This is a series that focuses more on episodic stories, doesn't exactly have a continuous storyline. Although, I guess that can be argued from the pilot all the way to the finale, but it's like your traditional TV show. No different than Friends, I guess, where it has a beginning and an end, or The Office, where it has a beginning and end. Is that good enough to make you try to watch it? If you haven't seen A Lost Clause, give it a watch. I think you'll definitely feel the holiday spirit in that one. And with that, that brings us to the end of day 11. We're just going to keep moving on. We're done at the Foster home. Bye-bye, Foster home. We're going to continue going on now, and we're going somewhere else. Where are we going next? We're going to go check out another cartoon, so come back tomorrow, and I will tell you what that cartoon is once I remember it. Thanks for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Review, and you just saw me review a thing.